Hi, this is Chris Frostad, and we're very excited to release our exploration plans for the coming months and our busiest season of drilling in many years. Over the past few years, we've been highly focused on our Hook Lake joint venture with Cameco and Orano. This year, however, with the rebalancing of uranium prices, we're able to return to our other 11 projects, discoveries we have waited to advance in a more appropriate stage of the commodity cycle. But this is not a typical land package. This is a collection of high-value assets, most of which have already demonstrated the existence of mineralized uranium in our drill core. From Hook Lake, where we've seen grades in excess of 50%, to Red Willow, where we'll be following up on mineralization at the Osprey, Geneva, and Radon Lake zones, to Smart Lake and Umphraville, where we saw uranium discoveries in our very first programs. We've maintained and added to our portfolio during the down cycle so we could hit the ground running. Let's start now with an update on our Hook Lake project. Hook Lake sits along the southwestern edge of the Athabasca Basin, adjacent to our neighbors Fission Uranium and NextGen Energy, who in recent years have defined in excess of 350 million pounds of uranium along the Patterson Corridor. Purepoint operates the project, which is a joint venture with our partners Cameco and Orano, and this year the partnership is preparing to explore a new area within the project. The uranium companies in this region have spent considerable time and money to understand how and why uranium deposits exist here. As we've pointed out before, we now have a Patterson model for the typical geological setting of uranium mineralization, not only where deposits have been defined, but a model that is common to all mineralization identified along the Patterson trend. In addition to the investment by local explorers, the Geological Survey of Canada performed an exhaustive study of the area, which was published last year. Their work included this regional gravity survey. Here, the gravity highs are represented in pink, while the lows are in blue. What this survey showed us was that the ideal host in all cases was the transitional areas between the highs and lows seen here in yellow or green. The government study also looked at the processes involved in creating the area's uranium deposits. The Geological Survey felt that the Clearwater Domain intrusions, which is the blue region to the northwest, were high heat producers that warmed and circulated hydrothermal fluids over the structural corridors. Prolonged interaction of oxidized uranium-buried fluids with basement rocks through reactivated faults is now thought to have formed the high-grade uranium deposits. This explanation results in the new opportunity, the Carter Corridor. The Carter Corridor is a 25-kilometer band of graphitic conductors that lies to the west of the Patterson Trend. What is striking is that the corridor not only lies along the ideal rock type seen here in yellow, but is significantly closer to the heat source than Patterson. Existing geophysics shows us that the area in the south hosts numerous long-lived faults of the type necessary to allow for uranium deposition. One of the first drill programs initiated by Purepoint at Hook was on the Carter Corridor in 2008. This program predates any of the discoveries along the Patterson Trend, and at that time the partnership was looking specifically for unconformity deposits, not basement-hosted deposits such as Arrow and RRR. Subsequent programs moved quickly to the Patterson Trend to follow up on the discoveries there. The results of that limited 2008 drilling, however, showed spiky radiation at approximately 50 meters beneath the unconformity and significant alteration, typically evidence of a nearby mineralization event. Purepoint now considers this area one of the most prospective opportunities for a Tier 1 discovery in the Athabasca Basin today. Let's take a look now at the work planned for the coming months. As mentioned, we operate 12 projects right across the basin. Our drill programs are currently focused on 3 projects: Henday, Red Willow, and Turner Lake. Drilling is going on right now at Henday Lake, where we expect to complete 5 holes with up to 2,500 meters of drilling. This program should take us well into December. In January, we will commence our drill program at Red Willow, where we plan to drill approximately 6,000 meters across numerous target zones. In late summer, early fall, we'll be working at Turner Lake and have 5,000 meters of drilling planned. At Hook Lake, we're planning a geophysical work program to help focus further ground surveys and prioritize drill targets at the Carter Corridor. Finally, we'll be carrying out a variety of geophysical programs at the Tabinor Block and Russell South as we further define drill targets. Now let's take a look at some of these drill programs. In October, we initiated drilling at our Henday project. This will be the first drilling Purepoint has done on this project. Henday hosts 7.5 kilometers of conductors and is located on an east-west alteration trend that hosts Denison's J Zone and Husky deposits, as well as Rio Tinto's Rough Rider deposit. The current program looks to complete 5 holes of approximately 450 to 500 meters in depth. These holes are being drilled from the 3 locations you see here. We expect to have results very early in the new year. Our winter drill program will focus on our 100% owned Red Willow project. This project lies at the eastern edge of the basin, directly on trend with all of the major mines on that side of the province. There are numerous drill targets, and many, seen here in gray, have not yet been drill tested. This year, we will focus on the expansion of the discoveries made at the Osprey, Geneva, and Radon Lake zones. At Osprey, we'll be expanding our drilling to the east of the existing mineralization, looking to expand it into a larger deposit. East of the existing uranium zone lies a large uranium and soil anomaly. Further, the conductor to the north remains largely untested. At the Geneva and Radon zone, we're mapping out a larger area for investigation and are following up on 3 distinct discoveries. First is hole RAD 27 that returned 1 meter at 0.22% U3O8. Other nearby holes have returned similar results. Second, we're investigating the high levels of radon gas identified in Radon Lake, some of the highest levels of radon seen within the Eastern Basin. Radon gas is, of course, produced from decaying uranium, and the source has not yet been identified. Finally is hole RAD 0809 to the south, which presented 1.1 meters of U3O8 at 283 parts per million at the unconformity. Historic drilling has never tested for basement-hosted deposits, and it is felt that the triangular area bounded by these discoveries have all the attributes of such a deposit. Finally, let's take a look at Turner Lake. The Turner Lake area is a complex swirl of conductors that has a history of nearby mineralization. Of particular note is the Laroque corridor that runs up the western side of the formation. The corridor is identified first by the Orano alligator showing to the south of 3.8% over 10.5 meters. Then Cameco's Laroque showing of 29.9% over 7 meters. And most recently, IsoEnergy's Hurricane deposit, which includes a showing of 33.9% over 8.5 meters. The corridor then carries on across the top end of Purepoint's 100% owned Turner Lake project. Although there are numerous targets on this project, the northernmost Sarin conductor represents the most highly anticipated opportunity. In 1985, SMDC ran a seismic line across the area. We now see that at the point where the line crosses the Sarin conductor, there is a 150-meter fault, which is an attractive setting similar to that hosting the Key Lake deposit and McArthur River mines. As each of these programs commence, we will be providing additional detail on our approach. For more information on any of these projects, please check out some of our other project tour videos.